Hey everyone, this is Aaron with Crypto Trends. Tonight is December 21st. I put TH up there, whoops. 2018. Anyway, talking about the bottom, is the bottom found? And if so, are you going to get ready? We're taking a look at this actually from a Wyckoff perspective, and we're checking out what a Wyckoff spring is. And very interesting stuff. First off, please keep in mind that this is not financial advice, just my opinion. So let's get on to it, okay? Let's go take a look. Where are we with Bitcoin here? And we'll go over to BTC. This is a BTC USD daily chart, logarithmic scale. Good old trading view. And what I've done here, well, let me zoom out, just to give you guys perspective, okay? Yeah. All right, here we are. Okay, there you go. So what we have here is I had a box here, you may have noticed, that we actually hit. So I thought that it would be kind of cool to actually go in and see why I actually drew that box there and what I was expecting and stuff. So what I did is I labeled this stuff down. And from a Wyckoff, let me get rid of this. There's going to be this pop-up thing. Oh, no pop-up. From a Wyckoff point of view, well, let me make sure that I'm recording here right quick. Yeah, looks cool. All right. Okay, so from a Wyckoff point of view, we had this big, huge dump here, right? And they call that, in that jargon, a markdown. So the price is being marked down. And it goes down, down, down. And it keeps on trying to look for sellers, how many people are going to sell, that type of thing. And then pretty soon, down at the bottom, it reaches a point where there's really not a lot of sellers, okay, on this particular instance. And that is called a selling climax. And then from there, you have an automatic reaction. There is a cause, and then the effect is the bump up. So people say, "Ooh, that's too low, I'm going to buy." Wham, it bops up the price. So usually what you do is when that happens is that you draw a line at the bottom of the selling climax here. And then you draw a line at the top of the automatic reaction. Okay? And this is pretty much called the trading range. Or this is where accumulation occurs, and you can see accumulation here, like on this line, which I really, this has a signature about it that I really like, but we'll get to that in a bit. Okay, and so what happens is that you have this big drop, and then when it actually makes its reversal, boom, it pops up, and then it kind of just does chop. It goes up and down, up and down. And that's called a spring. If the spring is successful, this whole thing is a spring. And then at the end of the spring, we have, launch. Okay, it just starts to go up. And so it can go up, and then a lot of times what happens is that it comes down and does another secondary test. Now this came down and it did a test, which I thought it would, because, well, that was around the 3,300 mark. And I had this thing where for me, this was a decision box. As soon as it hit there, it's like, okay, it actually hit there. For me, that was a fiat decision. Let's put it that way. So I either bought or sold or whatever. But anyway, so it hit that, and so I did something. Anyway, looking here, what's really cool, let me zoom in here. Oh, sorry, let me go back to how it can go here. So right now we're up to here, and I drew this blue line, okay? And that could be like the average way that this pattern goes. And then you have, really strange terminology in Wyckoff. You have like jump the creek, You can imagine this is just being a creek, and then this is being a creek bed here. This is being the side of the creek bed here. So as it jump across the creek, goes up, and then it drops a bit, and then, you know, just goes along its merry way up through the markup stage and this and that. You can really get into Wyckoff. The interesting thing about Wyckoff, though, is it's not so much technical indicators. It is in a way, I mean, because you're like drawing lines and all this good stuff, but it's not looking at fibs. It's more taking into consideration the psychology of the manipulators behind the market, the composite operators, as the COs. And that could be an individual, it could be a group of people, it could be an entity, you know, a business, that type of thing. Doesn't matter. And sometimes there's multiple COs that are working in there, and they fight against each other, and that makes some interesting choppy times. But anyway, so this is one thing that it could be. Okay, this is one possible scenario. And always for possible scenarios, I can scroll back down here. Right about here, I have a decision box. I might do something there. And even further down here. Okay, so this is a market. This is a market, and things like that can happen. So you need to have a plan in case it goes all the way down here. What are you going to do? If it goes all the way down here, what are you going to do? And just to give you some perspective, you know, way back when, okay? So what are you going to do? Have a plan. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go there, but have a plan, okay? Let me put auto back on. All right, so another thing that this thing can do, let me get my little pen. Let me change the color. What color should I make this? Let's make this pink. That should stand out. So another thing that this could do is that instead of going down here, sometimes it drops further down to this area. And then it starts doing its thing like that, okay? So that's one way it could do it. If it pops down here, in TA they call that what do they call a double bottom? They call that a double bottom. Also in Wyckoff you have this. Let me see if I can. I have a graph here where you can see. So you can see like this point right here. It says selling climax. That could be a bottom, and then the low volume sell-off. Failure, that's like the secondary bottom, of course, right here. And then you have all these other things like jump across the creek and price markup, and you know, you take a look at Wyckoff. It's actually pretty interesting stuff, and it gets into the psychology, okay? Very, very interesting stuff. But going back, so you see how I have that there. Now, getting into a pattern that I really, really, really like, and it's a contrary pattern. Not a lot of people like it so much, but I do. I've done okay with it, and that's just me. It doesn't mean you will, or I will in the future. You know, best of luck to everyone, that's for sure. But let me zoom in here. Where is my little magnifying glass? Oops, no. Okay. Let me zoom in, get the... Yeah. Okay, so what we had here. Why is this interesting? It's because we had this area here, to me, is a spring. A lot of times it's depicted as going in between like these two lines, just doing chop. Sometimes it goes down. And when it goes down, I find it to be one of the most interesting patterns. It's a downward coiling pattern, a spring. And then at the bottom, what we're looking for is really low in comparison to the surrounding area, okay? Really super duper low volume. And it needs to be green, okay? And so we have that actually right here. We have this one that actually penetrated the box. Boom. And this is on a daily, okay? We're not worried about hourly time trends on this stuff. We're not doing that. We're doing long-term hold type of stuff. So we're not day trading. We're not swing trading. Okay, you guys get that. Anyway, this type of pattern, low volume. It's a green. Okay. Plus, it's look at this doji. Okay, on how it's formed. You have a. This is also an interesting pattern here. You have a bar up at top, and then you have the main body of the candle here, and it looks like a inverse hammer, right? So if you put a little thing there and you could swing it, it would almost go like a pendulum. Well, you could just imagine that pendulum swinging upward. Okay, bam, and lo and behold, that's what happened. Here's another one where it closed down at the bottom. Wham. Okay, so keep an eye on that. You know, you might have some luck in the future looking at little things like that. The more education that you have, the better. That is for sure. And you could read stuff where the techniques are total garbage, or you might have had some luck with them. But keep in mind that every technique, go with a sense of curiosity and saying, okay, everybody's calling this thing's garbage, but there must be something in it. Okay, and I'm not saying Wyckoff is garbage or TA is garbage or whatever, but pretty much everything that's put out there has usually some little speck of truth that someone has found, unless it's like just total scam like BitConnect, right? Anyway, so I like this pattern here. And this pattern here, it hit my box here, and this was really cool. So I had a coincidence of remote viewing information with the chart, and it bounced exactly off of that. It went into it a little bit, and that was enough for me. So anyway, what I'm looking at is, let me put this back on auto, is I think we're at the bottom. I think we'll go back down a bit. We could go down further, that's for sure, than where we are. But I think that we are pretty much at the relative bottom, somewhat similar. We are in this area here, okay? And the selling climax could actually be this point right here, okay? And so what that would do is basically shift everything to the right, so everything has a longer time scale. But yeah, so tell me your thoughts. Tell me your opinions. Have you looked at any Wyckoff stuff? And it's spelled Wyckoff. You can just type that in and then hit images on Google, and wham, you can look up at a whole bunch of patterns and stuff, okay? And then volume is really important, okay? Volume is really important. Anyway, interesting stuff. And you can see here just a ton of images, okay? So I thought that you guys would find that interesting, that I think that we are either at the bottom or very close to being at the bottom. What the price is, I don't care. I think we're there pretty soon. And here's another thing. This area is accumulation, so that here's an example of where the downward slope was going down like that. We've had that. We don't necessarily have to have an exact pattern match, but this is like people are buying here. The smart money is buying. Okay, they're accumulating, and they sold up in here. They sold up in here and then they dropped it. Buy it low, sell it high. That's what they're doing, okay? And these guys have enough money to actually, when they buy something, they make these candles, okay? Anyway, that is about it. So if there's anyone on the chat, we'll take, I'll check that out. If not, I'll take off for the night. Let's see here. Oh, there are some people. Awesome. Hey, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and get notified. Would appreciate it. Sean says, hey, bro. Hey, bro. Hey, Sean. How's it going? And Z-Boy says, how do you see V-Chain Thor? Yeah, I like V-Chain Thor. Long-term hold for me. Says, joining late. What am I talking about Wyckoff on how I think we've hit the bottom of Bitcoin. Yeah. So let's go take a look at good old V-Chain. V-E-T. Yeah, let's do ETH. We'll do Binance. Oh, there's one of my little boxes. How do you like that? I'll be darned. Yeah, I like V-Chain. It's a long-term hold. I'm really not concerned about prices. To me, it's like a real interesting product technology because I've done programming in supply chain, so that makes it really interesting for me from that point of view. This is the weekly. Don't forget to look at the weekly time period. Okay, there's hardly enough information here to get anything out of V-Chain, but here we go. So it looks like it's up and it's going to go, like a sine wave here. Wham. So we'll see. So things are pretty much looking on the up and up for the decent coins in the overall market. Hopefully that continues to be true. But V-Chain Thor, I have a problem, man. I'll just lay it out. I have a problem. You have V-Chain Thor, okay? And then what do you do with it? You sell it. And why do you sell it? So you can buy more VET. Okay. Now the problem with that, with having more VET, is that you'll generate more Thor. And it's like, oh man. So I'm getting more Thor. So now the next month or whatever, you have more Thor than you did the month before. It's like, dude, come on. Okay, so I have to get on to the exchange again, get on Ocean X, sell my Thor. Okay, let's just clean up my portfolio, get rid of all this Thor garbage, and replace it with VET. Okay, problem again. Yeah, you have a ton more VET, which is creating even more Thor the next month. It's like, oh my gosh, it's a never-ending cycle. The only thing left to do is buy BitConnect, man. But yeah, V-Chain Thor. I like it. Do I think it's going to go like a gazillion dollars a moon? No, I'm thinking, when things settle down, maybe it'll be like a penny, which would be like totally awesome. Maybe VET will be $1, maybe $5, maybe $10. Who knows? We'll see. V-Chain, awesome program they have going on there, and a lot of good stuff. So check it out. But I think it's going to be you not only have that where people are going to be selling their Thor to buy more V-Chain so they can get more Thor. So you're going to have that self-feeding loop. You're also going to have the companies actually use it. And as we looked at the video I had yesterday at VForge, where we can actually look at the transactions, the 18th and 19th, 1.1 million on the 19th, 1.4 million VThor burned, and then the 20th, 500,000. Okay, a little over 500,000, and today's just starting, but over there. So this is a huge increase, and I did have a comment that, oh yeah, people are getting their they're taking the rewards of Thor, and yeah, that's on these spikes when they've been distributed and stuff. Yeah, that accounted for a good chunk of the volume. But when it's this high, there's something else going on, in my opinion. So people are burning transactions, and here's the transactions down here, as you can see. you know, how much Thor and stuff like that. But check out VForge. But overall, I like VChain Thor. I like VChain. And that is just me. Absolutely do your homework, okay? Do your homework. Don't look at any of this charting stuff I have down here. This is all remote viewing. All remote viewing stuff, okay? And look. See this yellow thing? I was so wrong. I was so wrong. Well, let's put it that way. I was wrong from this point forward. So we'll see. But yeah, certainly don't take anything I have as gospel, okay? Do your own stuff. Follow your gut. You know the drill. Yeah. Well, thanks for the question. Appreciate it. But yeah, VChain Thor, man. Yeah. Rockabilly. Remember that, Rockabilly? Maybe you don't. Let's see. What else we have here? Hey, there's no one. What do I think of Ambrosis now? I still like Ambrosis. Let's go take a look at their chart. AMB. Let's look at them at ETH. Boom. I still hold Ambrosis. I am a long-term holder. All these lines. So you see how I did this with the this is more Wyckovian stuff. Reaccumulation, this low point here, and you know, good stuff. But let's take a look. See, I haven't really taken a look. Okay, here's an example. Came down here, dropped, boom, had like a little test. Let me scroll in here. So we see what that looks like, right? This pattern. We'll scroll in on it. Okay, so it dumps down, boom. This is like our little creek bed. You can imagine this being filled with water. Okay, so it's a jump across the creek, and then you have the markup phase, boom, and then you have the distribution where they start selling their coins that they got down here to the suckers and bag holders up here, and then they're out, boom, and nobody's buying anymore because they already bought up high. The price drops and rinse and repeat. So it's gone through a cycle now, so that would appear to, yeah, it looks like it needs to hit down here lower. We'll see. See what it's done in the past. That was pretty much, you can see that it hit here low, hit here low, hit here low. And all I did, this big green line, I just looked at the chart, man. And I said, okay, kind of like draw like in the center of like all these, where's like kind of the midline would be. And yeah, I know it'd be up a little bit higher, but I wanted to make sure that I got some ups and downs like over in this area. And so I just did a guess. Okay, fine, wham. I drew it there, and it looks like, yeah, okay, it's hitting pretty fair. And so you're looking for stuff where it cuts through the middle of the chop, and then it bounces. Okay, so that's a good line, right? Anyway, so we've had this down, and we've had the up. So everything wants to have equilibrium. Everything wants to go to zero naturally. You can think of it that way. So that's a cycle. So we've had our down and we've had our up, and now we're just right in this area here. You can think of it this area here. We can look for a repeat of this. So don't be surprised if that happens. And if it does happen, well, you guys will have a plan of what to do. So on ChartingView or whatever you guys use, draw a little box so you remember. And that's like the best thing. And you just draw a little rectangle and say, okay, about this distance here. That's yeah, about that distance here, and we're right here, so let's say about this distance, and then come down. Real technical, right? So somewhere around there. Okay, if it hits somewhere around there, I'm going to do something. And then you also say, well, it could go up like everything else. And it's gone up here before. Look, here's another possible creek. Look, here's another possible trend for Wyckoff. You can say, okay, here's the mark down. Here's the first test. Bam. Automatic reaction, secondary test. That's the low volume point. Wham, that was the spring. Could be the possible spring or a secondary test, and this could be just be coiling up, and we could see something go up again. And so the creek could be somewhere over in this area, right? With another test below, maybe that one. We'll see. Don't know. So let's say if that's the case, wham, creek. Okay, we could have, yeah, we're getting into, let's say we have a creek about here. That's about equal with this. And then if that's like really, if that's really happening, where that is the bottom of the creek, then what that means, come on, there it is. So let's say it does something like, whatever, right? Bam, hits the box. And then, it goes up, then it goes like this. And then we have this area up here where we sell to the suckers. Okay? There you go. Isn't that cool? Wasn't that easy? Wasn't that easy? It might not go up that high. It might not go up high at all. I mean, look at this peak versus this peak, okay? But we're looking at March, April, May. What is that? What is that? That's going to be like a totally different time for everybody. Okay? There's, I mean, things are changing, right? Q1, Q2. Yeah, things are changing. So it could. Don't know. Anyway, I like Ambrosis. Yeah, leave a comment on why you like Ambrosis or you hate it, you know? Anyway, not financial advice. Thank you for the question. XRP. That's my energy on XRP. Okay? And I like Ripple, the company, big time. Okay? XRP, if it moons, keep in mind this is Ether. Okay? Ether. But that's what I'm looking for, XRP in general. Boom, 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 boom. Let's look at XRP, USDT. Good old Binance. And, yeah, right now I'm just totally not interested in it. That's just where I'm at right now. I have no interest in it. I mean, I used to be like totally jazzed, and used to love XRP, but you know, we really haven't heard from American Express from XRP, have we? We really haven't heard. A little bit of news, yeah, but we really haven't. And if you think about XRP, what is it? What is it there for? It is there to provide liquidity for the transactions between the banks, right? So when they're transferring from one currency to another, they can use XRP as a go-between. So what is going to happen with that? XRP's really super duper fast. I'll give it that. So you're going to have a big old candle like this. A bank says, hey, a customer just gave me a ton of money and I got to send it to Bangladesh or whatever, right? So we're going to see a big old Jedi candle in a span of a minute, or maybe on the 3-minute chart. Okay? And then right next to it, we are going to see, oh crap, we are going to see a great big old red wick, right? Great big old wick. Okay. This is going to go so dang fast. You're not going to have any say in it. Okay? Unless you have something up here. But this price spike could be only 10 cents. Okay? 5 cents. The point is, it's going to start at this, damn it, here. It's going to start at this level here, and it's going to end at that level instantaneously, within 3 or 4 seconds, right? So if it did take longer, if we split it out, so all of a sudden the trade, we could go down to the second line, we would see these two candles. But it's going to happen so fast, we're not going to see the candles at all, and all we're going to be doing is left with that. So we're not going to be seeing any huge spikes in price of XRP due to the transmittal of funds over their network, where they're utilizing it for liquidity. That's my opinion. And yeah, that's my opinion, and we're going to end up with a flat line. Now the banks, if it goes up and somebody has like an order up in here and it does a spike and somehow they catch it because they have an order and all of a sudden it shoots the price up a little bit, if that causes any type of slippage or anything like that, Ripple said that they would cover it. So the bank is going to basically, let's say, send $1 million of they're going to take their money and they are going to buy $1 million, and then that $1 million is going to be sent to the recipient in XRP, right? They're getting $1 million worth of XRP, and then within like the next second, the bank is saying, oh, hey, all of a sudden I have $1 million of XRP in my account. Let's sell it. Wham. So they sell it, and for whatever currency that they're going into, and the deal is done. That's not very exciting. A flat line as far as money, as far as volatility and stuff goes, for a huge volume of coins being transacted, having it be a flat line is not exciting to me. And so the only thing that you have with XRP is purely speculation. Okay? That's about it. But as a technology, hats off to them. Swift needs competition. And yeah, big time. And would it be really cool to send money back and forth across the world? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But this is XRP. And they have good things going for it. I tend to like XLM Stellar more because they're working on their point to point. So you could actually transmit stuff from one cell phone directly to another cell phone without the requirement for the internet. They're working on stuff like that. Also check out Holochain. Hot is doing something like that. Do your research. But Ripple, love Ripple. Don't care much for XRP anymore. Used to. Where I see it going, I see it actually being as a competing with Tether and the other stable coins, and it will be like around $1. So if it goes beyond $1, I'll get interested. If it goes below 8 cents, I'll become interested. Well, let's see what the price is right here. 26 cents. Yeah, I'm not interested in it there. It needs to go a lot lower for me to have a box. But I made good profit on XRP, so I'm happy with them. That is faux show. So I hope that answered your question. If you like it, do your thing. for me. I've done my thing, and I've had fantastic returns from it. So very happy with XRP. Mainframe wants to know, what are my 3 top holds? Well, top holds. What does one mean by top holds? I would have to, let me put it this way. My 3 holds I am most excited about, okay, where they actually have the best energy that I currently have, okay? Because I'm still taking a look at that Matrix AI. That has some real good energy behind it, but I don't hold it right now. Top holds, what I would classify, XRP and XLM are no longer them. Okay, I sold them for other coins. So what coins do you have in your portfolio? If you had to choose, would you sell one for the other? Okay. So that's basically what I did. I sold XLM and XRP for the key, TKY. Right now, that is my most, I'd probably say that is my favorite coin in the entire crypto market. Second, VeChain. Third, it could be Man. I'm still doing research on it, but I don't hold it. But I like with good energy behind it, where, I'm talking, when I say stuff, I'm talking where it's going to survive beyond 3 and 5 years. Okay, I mean, that's how much energy is in these things. We see a lot of shit coins, and like, man, they just dump. But that's not saying they don't have a lot of lucrative trading opportunities for doing swing trades, right? But for long term, they're dead. But anyway, so I do long term mainly because, yeah, you have taxes and I don't want to track it, and it's just a pain. But the number 3 that I like, I would have to say Zilliqa. I would have to say Zilliqa, without a doubt, because they just released their sharding on, and you can go test it on the testnet stuff. And so they are actually doing what Ether is struggling trying to get done, right? They've got it. And guys, sharding has been around in databases for a while. They've had, there's no excuse for the amount of capital that's in the Ethereum bags, why they couldn't hire a whole ton of developers working on nothing but Ethereum. And the problem with Ethereum is, the biggest problem with Ethereum is Ethereum. Anyway, I hope they get their network together and all their other stuff, because, man, it's an important coin, and it's very popular, and there's a lot of things based on it. And I hope they get it squared away before a lot of the dApps, the more serious dApps, let's say, actually come on board and try to use it. And then they have the network not ready, and then we run into a CryptoKitty situation. That would just be not only a tragedy for Ethereum, but for the entire crypto market. And so I truly hope that they get their act together, and soon. But I think Zilliqa is ahead of them right now, and so I hold, I hold a bag of Zilliqa. The key I like the most. Second is VeChain. I used to like VeChain the absolute most, but I mean, it's neck and neck, I mean, there's only a head difference between that horse race. So I hope that answers the question. Always do your homework. Do your homework. J Crypto, hodl. Still hold my bags of TKY. Awesome. Good for you, man. Me too. They keep on getting bigger. Heavens. Oh. JC says, what was my first choice? First choice was the key. Second, VeChain. Third, Zilliqa. Okay. Those are my 3 top that I like the most. I'm checking out Man right now. I also like Holochain. Okay. And if you look in the comments, you'll not my comments, but if you look below, you'll see a listing of coins that I like. And those are coins I suggest you go out and do research on. Stella! Hey, Stella's ahead of Tether. Yay! Amazing. Tether to the moon. Tether to the moon. Come on, thing. Come on, thing. Okay. Here's an interesting coin to take a look at. DOVU. Cheap. Okay. Inexpensive. Got hit pretty hard. You guys are saying, what in the hell is DOVU? DOVU is part of that mobile consortium with BMW and VeChain to get the little monitors inside of the cars. Yeah, they also have some stuff going on with, like, let's just say some car companies. Go do your research. But these guys are a very interesting company. They are looking at to try to alleviate traffic situations and so on. Could be carbon credits, all that good stuff. But check out DOVU. No one covers them. They are a hidden gem. And as you can see, I mean, look at the volume. Totally pathetic, right? I mean, that's pathetic. But check them out. Nobody talks about them, but they're worth being talked about, okay? They're real. They have their tweets going on. They have their Reddit stuff here. They're going to events. They're keeping their nose to the ground. They're getting out there. Check them out, okay? Hidden gem. And yeah, hidden gem. That's all I can say. Do your research. But let's see. So that is one that's quite interesting. Ambrosis as well. Check out Ambrosis. They have some stuff going on. Also Mediblock. It's the X now. MedX. Oh, this one's even cheaper than anyway. These guys are like Korean medical record storage. Oh, and they got an up bet. Hey, good for them. See, healthcare experience reinvented. See how it works. Wham. And this had super duper uber high energy back in 2017. Okay, for it to go forward. And I think when I did a remote viewing, I called it like one of the top coins for 2019. So we'll see. But that is Mediblock. We'll just see how it goes, But I like the key. Anyway, that's interesting stuff. Okay, guys. Well, that's about it. So I'm calling it a night. You guys have a good one. Have a good evening in Australia land, all that good stuff. And yeah, so best of luck to everyone. Have a great one. Don't forget to check out Wyckoff. And hey, we could be at the bottom for Bitcoin, which would be great for the entire cryptocurrency space. So best of luck to everyone. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, get notified.